Legends of Guam, Sirena, Mary of the Crabs, and How the Young Maidens Saved Guam, the Legend of Sirena. The Agana River meandered from the newly washed green jungle foliage and merged with the ocean surf near the village of Agana. It was near this stream at Minondo that a family once lived many, many years ago. There were 3 girls and 1 boy in the family. Sirena was the youngest and the prettiest girl in the family. Unlike the others in the family, Sirena enjoyed swimming more than anything else in the world. Her mother tried to teach her to sew, to cook, to sweep, to wash, and to do other dutiful things that a girl her age should know in order to become a good wife and mother. Sirena, however, only wanted to swim. One day, Serena's mother sent Sirena on an errand to get charcoal for the iron from her aunt who lived across the river at Agana Springs. The temptation to plunge into the river and swim was so great that before she knew what was happening, Sirena was in the water swimming and enjoying herself. She soon lost all sense of time and, of course, forgot what she had been sent to do. It began to get dark, and Serena's mother began to worry. She knew about Serena's obsession for the water, but that her daughter was a good swimmer. The mother became upset and angry because she had waited so long for the charcoal for the iron. Passionately, she muttered, "I wish my daughter would turn into a fish." Serena's godmother, who was visiting at the time, said her upper half should stay the same. While she was still swimming in the water, Sirena felt a change come over her body. Looking down at her feet, she could see them changing into a fish's tail. As she struggled to leave the water, the lower part of her body turned into a fish. Sirena then knew that she would spend the rest of her life in the water that she dearly loved. The current of the river began to carry her to the ocean. Sirena found that she could swim very well, and she was very pleased. She swam out to the ocean and was never seen again by her mother or godmother. It is often told that many fishermen and ships have seen and have heard Sirena swimming and singing in the oceans of the world. Whenever anyone gets too close to her, Sirena swims away and isn't seen again for quite some time. She appears in many areas of the crystal blue sea. Sirena can only be caught with a net woven from human hair. It is said that Sirena once was caught by a ship's captain, but escaped a few minutes later and disappeared into the depths of the ocean. Somewhere, beautiful Sirena is swimming and enjoying herself. The next person to see her may just happen to be you. The Legend of Mary of the Crabs, Maria del Camarine. A few centuries ago, a fisherman went down to the bay in Marizo to fish. He wore his usual fishing clothes, which were a pair of shorts and a short-sleeved shirt. He also had a net and a spear with him, help him get a large catch of fish. As the fisherman was getting ready to throw his net into the water, he saw burning candles and a statue resting on top of a golden crab. The fisherman tried to catch the golden crab holding the statue, but each time he tried, it would disappear. Disappointed, the fisherman started towards shore when the crab suddenly reappeared and spoke to him. It told him that he should go home and should get fully clothed. Then he could have the statue. Returning fully dressed in long pants and a clean, long-sleeved shirt, the fisherman raced to the water's edge. The golden crab with the statue and the 2 burning candles reappeared. The fisherman reached down and took the statue from the back of the crab. The golden crab and the 2 burning candles then disappeared beneath the water. The fisherman took the statue to the village priest, who placed it on the altar of the church in Agana. After many years, the priest sent the statue to Rome to have it cleaned. Each time the workers tried to clean it, it bled. Officials decided to return it to Guam uncleaned, to where it belonged. The statue finally came back. To this day, the statue of Santa Maria del Camarine can be seen in the Cathedral of Agana, Guam. The people also believe that Guam belongs to Santa Maria del Camarine. The legend of how the young maidens saved the island of Guam. If you've seen the island of Guam from the air or on a map, you'll notice that the island is oddly shaped. It is fairly wide at the ends and narrow in the middle, as though large bites had been taken in the island from both the western side at Agana Bay and the eastern shore at Pago Bay. How was Guam formed? The Chamorro people have an old legend, antes na tiempo, or a long time ago. Before the ancestors of the present-day Chamorros came to Guam, a mighty race of people lived here. They were called Tao-Tao-Mona, which means the first people. It is said that they were very clever and wise and possessed magical powers. A group of fishermen, Pescadot Siha, who fished in Agana Bay, noticed that the mouth of the bay was growing larger and larger. They could not understand what was causing this strange occurrence. Similarly, a group of fishermen from Pago noticed that Pago Bay was also growing larger and larger. It seemed that the center of the island was being eaten away on both sides. The land between Agana and Pago Bay was becoming narrower each day. "If this keeps on, the island will be cut in two," the people commented to one another. "We must do something to stop it." A meeting was called of all the wise Tao-Tao-Monas. Everyone agreed that something had to be done to find out the cause of the strange action. Everyone realized there had to be an answer. But unfortunately, there seemed to be no solution. A certain fisherman was out early in the morning doing his day's work when he spotted a giant fish. Naturally, the fisherman was curious to find out more about the strange, large creature. As he neared the fish, he saw what the big fish was eating, big chunks of land. As he got closer, the big fish swam away. The fisherman started spreading the word around that a giant fish had been seen biting away pieces of land at Pago Bay. "This monstrous fish must be destroyed," said the leaders. "Every strong man on the island must go and help destroy this fish." Early the next morning, all the capable men on Guam gathered together with their weapons and started out on their long mission. Naturally, no one had any idea what the day would bring, but no one was going to let the large creature destroy the island. Everyone was determined, before the day was over, to return to his village with some evidence that the horrible fish had been destroyed. As everyone started on his mission, Pago Bay was almost covered with the many canoes. The hunters and fishermen paddled into the bay, looking for the terrible fish. Some searched in the coral reef, while others looked in the deep ocean near the reef. Everyone searched for hours, hoping to spot the fish. But no fish was seen, at least not the giant fish. Soon it began getting dark, and the hunters and fishermen began returning to their homes, each with a deep sense of disappointment. The search continued for many days. No one wanted to admit failure, and enthusiasm to find the fish continued for a long time. But no matter how hard the men searched, they could not locate the terrible giant fish. The news of the failure of the men to find and destroy the giant fish word spread from village to village. The news even reached some of the Sirenas of the island. The Sirenas were mermaids who would gather at the large, deep pools called Agana Springs. The mermaids had special powers and had the power to hypnotize anyone or any animal with their singing. It was said that their beautiful singing voices would attract men from far and near who would come and listen to them sing. These mermaids often would gather at Agana Springs to swim, to sing, and to chat together. Those who saw the mermaids said that the greatest trait of the Sirenas was their long, beautiful black hair. The mermaids washed their hair in the cool, clear water and then rinsed it with lemon juice. Somehow it appeared that their hair had the power to hypnotize anyone. The mermaids were fascinated with the rumor about the horrible fish which was supposed to be eating away Guam. At the time, they were amused that the brave, strong men from the villages could not come up with any solution to their problem. "The brave men of the island can do nothing to stop the giant fish. Perhaps we can be more clever than the fish," they said. The mermaids knew that an underground tunnel connected Agana Springs with Pago Bay. One of them devised a special plan to catch the giant fish. They realized they needed a strong net. Of course, they knew that the brave men of the village had tried using a fish net to catch the giant fish. Island residents wondered what would be so unique to laugh about the mermaid's net. Knowing that their long, beautiful black hair had magical powers, the Sirenas cut off their hair and started weaving it into a huge fish net. They all worked on this net for hours and hours. Net became. As they wove, they began to sing. Their singing attracted many fish, but not their prime prey, the destructive giant fish. However, the mermaids did not become discouraged. After they finished their fish net, they hurriedly put the final step of their plan into action. All the mermaids gathered around the entrance of the tunnel at Aganya Springs. They sat down around it, holding on to the net, and began to sing. They sang so beautifully that before long the giant fish heard them. The fish could not help but become enticed by their singing. The large fish swam into the underground tunnel. As the mermaids continued to sing, the large fish swam deeper in the tunnel and closer to the source of the beautiful songs. As the fish approached Aganya Springs, all of the mermaids moved towards the fish and threw their magic net around the creature. There was absolutely no way that the fish could escape the trap set by the mermaids. They summoned some men to come and dispose of the giant fish. The young mermaids had saved their island paradise. With the magic of their long hair and their beautiful singing, they had done what the strongest men of the island could not do. They had destroyed the giant fish.